a lot of times when I see people that come into the circuit clerk's office, they're having a pretty rotten day. That does not have to be your story. Absolutely not, because it is never too late to use that as your turning point. You were made for a purpose.
Hi everyone, this is David Raleigh, Superintendent of LaRue County Schools, coming at you with another Hawk Talk today. And today we're coming to you from the LaRue County Courthouse. And with me today, I have Emily Ernst. Emily is our LaRue County Circuit Court Clerk. So Emily, welcome. We're glad you could join us today.
Thank you very much.
And for those folks out in TV land, we'll call it, that may not know what you do and who you are. Would you tell them a little bit about Miss Emily Ernst?
Sure. I am Emily Ernst. I am the Circuit Court Clerk, as he practiced so well. Nice job. Here in LaRue County. And I was a Whitlock before I married my husband, Nathan. We've been married for 13 years. He is a director at Baptist South Hardin, and we have 4 of the sweetest kids in the county. Evie is our oldest. She's 10. She's our bookworm, our writer. Then we have Hank, who's 8, and he's our Lego engineer and resident stand-up comedian. Also, we have that. And then we have
Gets
Elle.
it from his mother.
I don't know about that. Elle, she is 5, and she is the princess diva extraordinaire. And then we have Bo, who just turned a year old, and he is just the little cherry on top. He's the sweetest thing. And so my parents are Debbie and Dwayne Whitlock. They've born and raised. I was born and raised here, and they've lived here their entire married life. And Dad retired from the Division of Forestry from, 30, 40 something years. And Mom just retired from the hospital where she's worked as a nurse for almost 42 years. I have a sister who's employed at LaRue County High School. She is a special ed teacher. Casey Sidebottom works there, does a great job with our students.
She does a wonderful job.
I graduated class of 2000, LaRue County High School. Was a member of the Band of Hawks and had some really, really great experiences with that. I graduated Campbellsville University with a degree in communications, and I'm a member of Our Lady of Mercy Catholic Church. Been there my entire life, involved with the Rotary Club, Women's Club, and on the board of directors for Spring Haven in E-Town. So we try to stay involved in everything that's going on in this community. Let's see. I think that pretty much covers the bases. I've worked at the Circuit Clerk's office since January of 2009. Mm-hmm. Was hired under Mr. Larry Bell, who is a wonderful man. I'm forever grateful for the opportunity to start there. And so I've been clerk since 2018.
Yeah. So the reason she said I had to practice is because I was afraid I was going to call her county clerk. So we talked a little bit about if she would mind maybe talking about the differences between what she does as the circuit clerk and what the county clerk does. And you admitted that there's probably, she does so much more than you know, but if you could just kind of maybe glaze over some of those differences.
Sure, and we get a lot of calls for the county clerk. The main difference is that the county clerk handles the county business, like the vehicle registration, taxes, tags. They do the deeds. They have the plats recorded over there. They do marriage licenses. They are in control of the county elections. So they've got all kinds of, Rhonda Metcalf is our county clerk. She does a wonderful job. She's got a lot of experience in that office, and they have control of the, like I said, the elections, all the voting machines. She covers a lot of grounds. And the circuit clerk's office, a lot of people associate that with just driver's licensing, which that is certainly a part of what we have done for years and years and years. And a lot of people think that's all we do, but it's not. There's a lot more. That just kind of is maybe 10% or less of what we do. And it's getting ready to be less because of the new Real ID compliant credentials that are coming out. But we handle all the court paperwork that's filed in the county. So we cover probate court. We do district criminal court, which is traffic tickets, misdemeanors, felonies. When felonies are indicted, they go up to circuit criminal court. We do civil court, juvenile cases, dependency, neglect, and abuse cases, adoptions, small claims. Pretty much anything that's going to go through court in this county will go through the circuit clerk's office. We collect bail bonds, restitution, state monies, fines and costs, a lot of things like that. And we can sometimes assist with voter registration when people come into the county from another county. And like I said, of course, the driver's licensing. which is going to be phased out. They have estimated that to be gone by June of 2022 from all the local circuit clerk's offices. So we have a regional office in E-Town that people are able to go to. That's the closest one to here. There's several other locations, but we used to get to see some of the kids come for their permit testing. That was good to see the excitement in their little eyes. And but the testing has moved to E-Town now, so I don't get to see them get their permits anymore. But it's kind of bittersweet, exciting for them though. Yeah,
it is. So that's kind of it was a hot topic for a while, but I think they've had to kind of back off and readjust. But so when is it in terms of those the real ID?
The enforcement date is going to be May the 3rd, 2023. That is supposedly the last date. Of course, we've had a couple of last dates up till now, but that is supposedly the actual be-all end-all. That's it. And that is for if you want to fly, even domestically within the United States, you would need to have that real ID compliant credential. And in order to do that, you have to take appropriate documentation to the regional office to go about getting that credential. Those are issued. There's a whole different issuance model, which was part of the reason for the safety and why it's more compliant with what is required federally for that. So they have to, social security card, birth certificate, proofs of address. Those have to be resubmitted and then put into the system that way. So it's not something that can be done at a local level.
Right.
It's going to be done and then mailed to you. So it's a whole lot different than what people are used to. I think Frankfurt knew that was going to be maybe an issue with people being able to get to a regional office because they couldn't go to their local level. And so they have tried to compensate for that a little bit by allowing for online renewals, for mail-in renewals, or mail-in duplicates. If you've lost it or you need to change your address, you can now do a mail-in for that. And this has not been an option. This is just kind of a recent thing. So I think COVID maybe sped that up a little bit because a lot of people weren't able to get out during that time. So there's been a lot going on for a long time. I've been to trainings for years in anticipation of it being issued at a local level, but that plan was scrapped, so you just kind of got to go with it.
That's going to be a big change for folks.
It is.
And we're kind of dealing with that, as probably most employers are, because we do background checks and we require folks to have to get fingerprinted. And in some local districts that would have that capability, you could do it there, but it's very similar. No longer can they do it there, or just go here to the police department, sheriff's department. Now they're going to have to go probably to the same regional site.
It's very possible. I'm not sure about that. I know that those of us who were expected to be issuing these credentials had to get fingerprinted ourselves in order for that security level. So it's,
So what are some other, for folks that may not know, what are some other services that you provide to the community? And that's what Hawk Talk is about. Hawk Talk is about our main objective is making connection with the school district, with our community leaders and community partners, but we also want folks to understand and to know what people like you are doing in your office is doing for the community. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Staying active in the community, we try to keep the information out, and as far as community goes, there's actually probably quite a few people who have just gotten a letter from my office about jury duty. That is something I failed to mention earlier, the jury administration aspect. So every year we could send as many as 500 jury notices out, just saying, hey, come visit us for a little while. And it's really not as bad as what you would think. It's actually pretty interesting, I think. I may be a little biased, but you get a neat experience with jury duty. So that is something that we will always be associated with the community as far as jury duty, whether it's circuit, district, grand jury, any of those. We also have what we call a court-designated worker program. That is basically if a youth is maybe into a little bit of trouble, they try to work with them on their own program, on their own level, on their own projects to keep them out of the court system so that they don't have a delinquency case, at an early age, and they try to kind of change things up for them. And basically things like that as far as with the youth.
And so I think that would be one of those avenues where your office might serve as a liaison with the school district in terms of a a court designated worker.
It's very possible. That is a part of the administrative office of the courts, not necessarily the circuit clerk's office directly, but that is kind of their own, you've got your judicial suites, you've got your pretrial officers, you've got court designated workers. So it's all these kind of things coming together, all these gears turning together to make things go, as well as all of our judicial partners around here. Our county attorney, Kyle Williamson, does an amazing job. Our Commonwealth's attorney, Whitney Meredith, is the local assistant Commonwealth's attorney. She does a great job as well. All our judges' offices, our circuit judges, and
Judge
our
Reed,
district judges.
shout out to Judge Reed.
Judge Reed's our district judge. We also have Judge Ballard and Judge Sims in circuit court. We work closely with the Sheriff's Department, with Hodgenville City Police, who both do a great job with working with us and helping us out. And I'm sure there's a lot of other agencies that I'm leaving out, but it takes a whole lot of different people in a whole lot of different positions to try to keep things going smoothly.
It does, and all those folks that you mentioned and we talked about, we all work together for the betterment of the community, but also when we talk about, because at the school district we talk about in the individual child, the whole child, and so you're right. That old adage about it takes a village, and it literally does.
Sure does.
It's everybody kind of working together, looking out for the best interest of that student, because we want that student to eventually become a productive citizen, right? And
Exactly.
a productive community member.
Exactly.
Yeah. I have seen you at the schools volunteering for various things, and we're very appreciative of that. Can you care to share some of the things that you have
Sure.
have worked with us on?
I don't remember what the event was called, but I assisted with some mock job interviews,
Yeah.
which that was so enjoyable. Being with these 17-year-olds who were getting ready to go out on their own, and letting them know kind of what to expect in a job interview when you got to go make your own money and you're nervous, you don't know what to expect, but maybe kind of get those nerves out on a practice interview. That was good to give them pointers, tips on putting your best self out there and what potential employers might be looking for, and how to present yourself in the best possible light. Also, with the circuit court clerks, we have an organization called the Trust for Life, which is where we participate in advocating for and educating the public on organ donation awareness, which is very very important mission, because every 22 minutes somebody's added to the organ donor registry and passes away because they haven't received a life-saving gift like that. So we try to get that information out there as well. When you come in to get your driver's license, you'll be asked that every single time if you're not a registered organ donor. But there are several people that I'm close with that are donor families, that are donor recipients, and it's an amazing thing to think about, that someone could give that gift in the absolute darkest time of their existence, and then to be able to know that they're saving someone else's life.
That's a very good point. I mean, I know friends and folks that I'm associated with that are on some kind of a donor waiting list. So care about those people, and then you hope that somebody can donate an organ to them that would possibly save their lives. Now you mentioned, I don't know when this will air, but you mentioned that you were a member of the Band of Hawks.
Yes.
So do you realize that our Band of Hawks, under the leadership of Alex Patterson, will be participating in the semi-state finals Saturday morning?
That is so good luck.
Yes,
That's
in
so
hopes
exciting.
of making it to Kroger Field for the finals. So
That is just like a special feeling.
Yeah.
It's just excitement, and it's a great part of high school. I'm excited for people that are involved in that, to build that camaraderie and to have that fun and make those memories. Is you can't replicate that.
yeah, no, you can't. And we talk so much about at the school level about for our students finding a group, an organization, an activity, a sport, something that they can join and be a part of, and to belong to something that that's a greater purpose than just them individually. So, and I think that the band does that. And like I said, Mr. Patterson does an outstanding job there.
That's wonderful.
So when Obviously, you said that you're from here. You're a graduate of LaRue County High School. So if I were to ask you about your vision for this community, let's say 5-10 years down the road, what would you tell me? What is your vision?
My vision, I don't know if I would call it a vision so much as maybe a hope or prayer for the future, whether that's 5 years, whether that's 1 year, whether that's tomorrow, because sometimes we're just hanging on by a thread. All we're guaranteed is the very next day. To hang in there, because, and maybe I'm coming at this from the clerk's perspective and from a mom's perspective, is that a lot of times when I see people that come into the circuit clerk's office, they're having a pretty rotten day. They're there because they're in trouble, they got a ticket, somebody's suing them, they're getting divorced, wrong place, wrong time, that we all make mistakes. I make plenty of, I'm sure you've made a mistake or two. But
Still do.
well, there's nothing that assures you of all the mistakes you made as parenthood and public service. Because if you think you've got your stuff together, you don't. And there's plenty of people that will tell you that. But we all make mistakes. But my hope and my prayer is that if you find yourself in that office, that does not have to be your story. Absolutely not. Because you can do more, you can be more if you're in the wrong place at the wrong time, if you've done something silly, whether you've done it once or whether you're in there for the 150th time, it is never too late to use that as your turning point. Change the whole trajectory, change the path for where you're going, because you were made for a purpose. You have a plan, you have a reason. You had a reason before you even drew your first breath. There is some reason that you're here. And so my vision and what I would urge people to do is look for that reason. Be that and lift each other up and help each other try to find your reason, your purpose, your calling, because sometimes when you're doing that for someone else, you find your own yourself. And that's just a great gift.
I love that and could not agree with you more. Again, as a parent, I've told my sons that, whatever happened yesterday, that's in the past, can't change it. The only thing you can do is learn from it and not make that same mistake again. I say to them, if you do it one time, it's a mistake. Do it a second time, it's a decision.
Exactly.
But from when you wake up this morning, you have a clean page. The story has not been written yet, exactly. And you get to determine that day how that story is written. And so I love that. And even if you mess up that day, guess what? Tomorrow we turn the page and we have another opportunity. So I love that outlook. I love that encouragement and inspiration, because, listen, I don't care if we got students listening or middle-aged folks or senior citizens. That is something that we can all take away from this.
Whether you're 14 or 84, it is never too late. You are worthy, you are worth it, and you have a plan. And I tell my kiddos all the time, my children at home, I said, it's about the choices that you choose to make these decisions. And it's about your character. And the way I try to explain that to them is your character is what you do when you think no one's looking. But somebody is always looking. Whether you realize it or not, whether somebody may be looking at you to see how to act, somebody may be looking at you to see how not to act. But it's that choice that you have each day. And if you mess up, in the morning, don't throw the rest of your day away. Just do
That's
better.
exactly right. People have asked me, are you having a good day? Did you have a bad day? I said, I never have a bad day. There might be a bad moment or a couple bad things happen, but in terms of having a bad day, no.
And I feel so badly, too, for some people that, you may not have the best home life. That's not your fault. And you don't have to continue that. I mean, just take a deep breath, think about the things that you do have to be thankful for, and make that choice.
Oh, absolutely. Just being grateful. Absolutely. Wow. That's good stuff.
Thanks.
It's good stuff, family. Well, listen, I want to thank you. I want to thank you for your service to the community and for our schools and what you do. It's always good to see you at Rotary. You have a great sense of humor. And so thank you. Thank you for taking time to sit down with us.
It is an honor to be here and an honor to be of service to I love my county. I love LaRue.
I can tell. I can tell. It shows.
Thank you.
That'll do it for this episode of Hawk Talk. Until next time, as we always say, it's a great day to be a hawk.